You know how we all walk around with this, mental library of facts? Things we've picked up over the years, stuff we just know is true. It's our common knowledge.
But here's the thing. What if a bunch of those facts are completely wrong? What if some of the stuff you'd bet money on is actually pure fiction? Well, today, we're going to find out.
All right, first things first, let's do some spring cleaning on our common knowledge. We're going to kick things off by tackling some of those so-called facts that pretty much everyone believes, but are totally false.
Okay, you've totally heard this one before, right? Put a hat on or you'll freeze. You lose most of your body heat through your head. Well, turns out that's just not true. Your head isn't some magical heat chimney. Heat escapes from any part of your body that's exposed to the cold. The only reason we think it's the head is because it's often the last thing we cover up. Here is a classic from middle school science. You look at your wrist, see blue veins, and think, aha, the blood is blue until it gets oxygen. Makes sense, right? Wrong. Your blood is always some shade of red, bright red when it's full of oxygen, and a darker, deeper red when it's not. That blue color you see, it's just an optical illusion, a trick of the light playing with your skin.
Oh man, this one's been floating around for ages. The Great Wall is so massive, so epic, you just assume you could see it from the moon. But in reality, not so much. It's actually really hard to spot because it's made of materials that blend right into the surrounding landscape. In fact, astronauts will tell you it's way easier to see things like major highways or, especially, the bright glow of city lights at night.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. NASA themselves have said that even from low Earth orbit, you'd be hard-pressed to spot it without some serious help. So yeah, we can officially call that one busted. Okay, so if common sense can be that wrong about stuff we see every day, it kind of makes you wonder, right? What other unbelievable, totally bizarre things out there are actually 100% real? This is where it gets really fun. We're flipping the script now. We're done with the myths. Now we're diving into the truths that sound completely fake, the stuff where reality is way, way weirder than fiction. Let's start with just a number. 3. What could that possibly be? Take a second, have a guess. That is the number of hearts an octopus has. 3! 2 to pump blood through its gills, and a third for the rest of its body. And get this. Remember how we just busted the myth about blue human blood? Well, octopus blood actually is blue. It's copper-based instead of iron-based. So wild. See? Nature is just full of these little surprises that totally mess with your head. All right, let's try another one. 40. What do you think? This one is... wow. I know what you're thinking. No way. The sloth? The slowest animal we can think of? Yep, it can hold its breath for up to 40 minutes underwater. They do it by slowing their heart rate way, way down. To put that in perspective, a dolphin, an animal literally built to live in the ocean, can only last for about 10 minutes. Mind-blowing, right? And the animal kingdom is just this bottomless pit of weird, wonderful facts. Wombats make cube-shaped poop so it doesn't roll away when they mark their territory. Sea cucumbers, when threatened, will literally throw up their own internal organs to distract a predator. Oh, and it's the male seahorse that gets pregnant and gives birth. And to top it all off, scientists have found that rats, they actually laugh when you tickle them. It's a high-pitched chirp we can't hear, but they do it. Okay, so this isn't just an animal thing. Prepare to have your idea of fruit completely scrambled. By the strict botanical definition, a strawberry isn't a berry, but a banana? Totally a berry. So are avocados and watermelons. It's all about how the fruit develops from the flower's ovary. Who knew? All right, let's talk about a real mind-bender when it comes to time. We think of trees as these ancient primordial things, right? Well, sharks were swimming in our oceans a full 50 million years before the first trees even showed up on land. Sharks are older than trees. Let that sink in. Speaking of ancient things, this one is just incredible. Archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are thousands of years old, and it's still perfectly safe to eat. Honey is naturally so acidic and has such low moisture that bacteria just can't grow in it. It basically never spoils. So what's the common thread here? Every single one of these facts kind of messes with our expectations, right? They go against our gut feeling of how the world should work. And honestly, that's where science gets really, really cool.
Here's the perfect example. You'd think cold water would freeze faster than hot water every single time. It just makes sense. But it's a real thing.
It's called the Mpemba effect, and under just the right circumstances, hot water wins the race to become ice. It just goes to show you the universe has a few curveballs up its sleeve.
So why? Why do our brains light up when we hear this stuff? Why is it so captivating to learn that a sloth can outdive a dolphin, or that sharks are older than trees? What's going on there?
Well, there's actually a name for it. It's called a counterintuitive event. It's just a fancy way of saying something happens that's the complete opposite of what your intuition tells you should happen.
Basically, when reality doesn't match the movie playing in your head, your brain goes into high alert. It's like a little red flag goes up that says, wait a minute, that's not right. This creates a puzzle, a gap in our knowledge, and our brains are hardwired to want to solve that puzzle. Curiosity kicks in.
That feeling of, whoa, no way, that's actually the sweet spot for learning. It's the science of surprise. It feels a little bit like magic. And that sense of wonder is what opens our minds up to new ideas and pushes us to discover more about the world.
So, I'll leave you with this thought. What's one thing you absolutely believe to be true right now? And what if, just maybe, it's the next great myth waiting to be busted? Stay curious.